James said it the way people say things when they're not paying attention to who's listening. Probably another pay rise. They gave us all 3% last month. He was putting someone else's payslip in his bag. It had landed in my pigeonhole by mistake. I had handed it to him without opening it. He had said that without thinking about the fact that I was standing right there, having been in the same team as him for 2.5 years, doing the same work, for considerably less money. 3% on a salary that I subsequently calculated was approximately £4,000 a year higher than mine. I went home that evening and looked up the Agency Workers Regulations 2010. What I found was this. After 12 weeks in the same role with the same hirer, an agency worker is entitled to the same basic working and employment conditions as a comparable permanent employee. That includes pay. I had been in that role for 2.5 years, 130 weeks. The qualifying period was 12. I had been underpaid by law for approximately 118 weeks. The back pay calculation came to just under £9,500. I contacted ACAS on the Friday. I booked a solicitor consultation for the following week. By the time I walked into that meeting, I already had 2 years of payslips, a calculation, and a clear sense of what I was going to do about it. The conversation with the agency's account manager was careful and deliberate on my part. I told her I believed I had rights under the Agency Workers Regulations that had not been honoured and asked her to confirm the pay rates for comparable permanent employees at the hirer. I gave her 5 working days. She came back in 3. The tone of the call told me they'd taken legal advice. She acknowledged the disparity. She said the agency had been working with the hirer on reviewing rates and that a correction was being implemented. She offered a prospective pay increase to the comparable rate. I said that was a start, and that I also needed the back payment for the period during which I had been underpaid. She said that was more complex and she'd need to come back to me. I filed a claim with the Employment Tribunal. The time limit is 3 months from when you knew. I was well within it. The claim concentrated minds in a way that the phone call hadn't. The agency's solicitors made contact within 10 days. They wanted to settle. I told them through my ACAS early conciliation representative that I was willing to settle at the calculated amount plus interest, plus my costs in bringing the claim, with a written commitment to the corrected ongoing rate. Negotiations took 3 weeks. The settlement was £9,200 in back pay, plus costs and interest, plus the corrected rate from the date of the claim. I continued in the placement for another 4 months on the correct rate while I looked for a permanent role. When I found it and handed in my notice, the account manager said she hoped there were no hard feelings. I told her I didn't have hard feelings. I just knew my rights and had used them when they weren't being respected. If you're an agency worker who has been in the same placement for more than 12 weeks, look up the Agency Workers Regulations. You may be owed more than you're being paid. The time limit for a claim is 3 months from when you knew. Act promptly. Has an employer or agency ever paid you less than you were entitled to? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more complete stories with no part 2s that never come, follow the page. New story every day.